think this is the first time I came here. Beautiful campus and beautiful students. All I don't know much about the other colleges. Probably I'll get to know about it. All hotel management based colleges. No? Tourism and hotel management. So it's a mixed group, so I'll have to be more general. Thank you, Gayatri, for keeping the group engaged because I'm a bit delayed. So this safety club, we have come up with this concept in all the schools of Cyberabad Commissionerate. Considering that safety is not something which happens instantly. It is something which we need to work on constantly, right? Unless you must be also having in your tourism or hotel management the various contingency plans, evacuation plans, where you are also made to learn about the fire drills or the emergency drills, right? So unless you have a plan, unless you are prepared, unless you have all the paraphernalia or the attitude or the forecast of what would happen in a contingency, we would not be able to face it as efficiently as we would, we have to actually. So the loss would be more. Eventually, some or the other disaster or an accident would happen sometime. Some things are out of our control. But when it does happen, it is our preparedness, it is our planning, it is our preparation for that which keeps us all safe. So with this, what I would like to emphasize is, all these drills, all these contingencies, why for children in schools? Or thanks to NITHM for extending it to college. Why to students? Are they in any way protected from disasters or accidents, dangers? I would say in this age, they are more prone to these. Not a physical thing, probably not an accident in a proper sense, like a fire accident. In fact, we are seeing more number of fire accidents also. We are seeing more number of road accidents also, especially where students with lot of bright future, they are either victims of the road accident or the cause of road accident. They are causing the road accident because of the drunken state in which they are. So if these are the accidents which we consider, we have seen just a day ago the suicide of a inter-college student who has committed suicide by hanging, not able to bear the pressure of the lecturers in the college or the stress of the intermediate education. Not long ago also we have seen the suicide of a college girl who has committed this sad thing because of being threatened of leaking her photos, private photos on internet. Even not long ago we have seen the suicide of a medico, a PG, who has lost her life because of ragging. So all these are issues which will drive the message, which have to drive the message to our home that safety is a thing which we have to inculcate as a culture at our home, at our school, at our college, at our workplace, and wherever we are. And we have to be constantly with that alertness throughout, that what we are doing, what we are choosing. By means of choosing, I would like to emphasize the kind of people we are with, the kind of people we are choosing to be with, the kind of activities that we are being with, the various what the pub culture probably, or gaming, mobile gaming, video gaming, then engaging in social media too much, or probably you must be well aware about the drug menace in the society these days. So what are we engaging with? What are we getting into it? Which path are we choosing? And where is it leading us to? These are things which we have to constantly be aware of, because it is good that if you are alert and aware, you are always guided by some warning that if you choose this would be the consequence. So you better avoid it. All those wonderful or well-groomed, aware students would keep themselves away from such dangers. But what about people who are already into it, knowingly or unknowingly? So it is our duty to ensure that we have to make them aware of the path in which they are. We have to make them aware that this is wrong and you have to come out of it before something gloomier happens. So when they are made aware of it, and when they are made aware that we are all there to support them in their transition, in their choosing their path away from what they are thinking as right, that it is not right, and what would be the consequences. When we make them aware, we have to be with them to choose the right path again, to bring them back to the right path. Otherwise, as parents, as teachers, as institutions, as systems and governments, we will all be considered a failure together. We can't blame one player in this ecosystem, right? It is all a collective responsibility where, as when I came, Gayatri was speaking about the responsibility of parents, where it is the responsibility of teachers to play the role of second parents, because it is the maximum time where students spend. And mostly earlier in our days, we used to consider one teacher as our role model. I wonder if there are such kind of teachers, if there are really hats off to them. But in fact, we cannot blame the teachers as such also. The systems, the institutions, the society, priorities have changed like that. Now the institutions, the profit motive of the institutions, of some institutions, or the priorities of some institutions is mostly on the marks or the numbers, and not considering students as humans. They are considered as breeders of ranks, right? Or their flag bearers of ranks for their college or institution. But is it not the responsibility, or is it not the responsibility of the institution or teachers to ensure that they contribute to the overall development of a student, not just the marks, overall development, or observing what path the students are taking, what friendships, what relations they are into, what activities they are getting engaged into. Especially when some institutions have hostels as well. The role of wardens come there, where we have to agree these days that students are not that obedient, right? They ask, what bothers you? You are not my parent. But that is this disrespect for age, for elderliness, for values, for systems, that is where the point of start for failure or doom starts. So it is all our collective responsibility, and as of course after institutions, the law, the government comes, where there are several laws. There is an anti-ragging law. There is a law for punishment for suicide. There is an IT Act which punishes the people who spread these videos and photos on internet. There are laws. There are institutions in government as well. But it cannot be with a student, with every student 24/7, right? So the students themselves have to be equipped, empowered, in such a way that not just they take care of their safety, but also play a major role in ensuring that their friends or their cousins, brothers, sisters of their age are also safe along with them, because only when you are aware of what to do and what not to do, how to report, how to observe that a particular person is depressed or is into a wrong path or taking wrong decisions or into a wrong relation. Of course, we are not judging there. Who are we to judge it is right or wrong? But an overall assessment of things, like generally, we can't say taking a drug is right or wrong. It is right when it is taken for a disease. Right? It is definitely right. We can't say drugs are wrong. But in the context of what is being taken, who is taking it, in which form it is taken, all these also matter. So this is when we have to inculcate safety as a culture amongst the students. And this is not just the responsibility of students. We can't lay the whole burden apart from their own stress of education, marks, career, settling in life, satisfying parents, reaching the expectations of friends, relatives. So we can't lay the whole burden on just the students. So we have come up with this concept of safety club, which is not new. In fact, it is mandated by the the central government through the Ministry of HRD, and it is also mandated by the Telangana government through a GO, where in all schools and educational institutions, there has to be a committee, a safety committee, where the members of the committee are students, teachers, parents, alumni, if possible, and the school principal or the college principal, taking the responsibility of ensuring safety, not just the physical safety. Physical safety could be the strength of the building or a laboratory, the safety in a laboratory. All these comes under physical, but in our safety club vertical, the physical safety vertical, we consider the road safety also as a vertical. And now with the increasing menace of ragging, that could also be considered in physical safety. The other vertical is cyber safety or the digital well-being vertical, where students are taught about the various IT laws, the various provisions, or how to use technology, how not to use technology. And then the anti-drug abuse vertical, considering the priority of the Telangana government that the youngsters especially should not be victims of this drug abuse. We have this vertical separately to enlighten the students, teachers, and parents about the what kinds of drugs make it as a substance, what are the various types of substances, what are the various provisions of the NDPS Act, Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act, and how do you identify somebody who is already into drug abuse, the initial symptoms of, say for example, he or she absents himself from classes frequently, or he or she, a good student, suddenly comes down in the ranks, or he or she is depressed. These are certain symptoms which make us doubt that he might be into drug abuse. Then the fourth vertical is the mental health vertical, which is considered essential because of the facts I have mentioned already, that the suicidal tendencies or the behavioral aspect which we see, the weird behavior of the youngsters, the cause of their behavior, all these are things which, their addiction to mobiles or the lack of attention from parents or the peer pressure or the pressure of marks, career, all these are adding up to the pressure and stress amongst the students, sometimes which leads to suicide or sometimes which lead to crime being perpetrated by the student. So all these verticals have been designed in such a way to ensure that safety is not just about drill which happens once in a year. It is that we have to be constantly aware in each step we take, in each activity we do, in each moment we spend. So that is how we have designed this whole safety club around, and it is like we have launched this in November, towards the end of November, on 23rd November. And so far nearly 35 schools have launched these safety clubs, and there is a brief pause because of the exam season that is going on. Hope to see more and more schools from Cyberabad Commissionerate launching these schools, and we are so amazed when we visit these schools to the launch of safety clubs, where particularly the government schools or the small private schools, where the kids are so active, so creative, that they do nukkad nataks, they do some creative dances, then plays. I should say more than the international, so-called international schools, these government schools or those street side schools, they were really creative. So it is a learning process for us as well, as we interact with so many students, teachers and parents. And now I'm so happy, I'm so glad that these safety clubs are being extended to colleges, and the first college to come up to this launch is NITHM. Thank you so much for joining the league. Thank you SCSC for driving this. And our selfish motive on being a police is to prevent crime, basically. It is not that we lament after somebody commits suicide, or after somebody drives after in a drunken state, and either he is dead or he causes the death of some innocent person on the road, or some bright student is addicted to drugs. Instead of crying after something happens, it is our initiative, it is our interest that we see that students, especially who are the future of the country, don't fall prey to any kind of danger or accident, or they are not into the wrong path, and they take our country, lead our country, being the students and also the institutions. Thank you. If any other institution also comes forward, we'll be happy to launch the safety clubs in the colleges as well. Thank you so much.